So before this video starts, I wanted to mention that 72% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. Also abonniere jetzt, damit du in der Zukunft kein Video mehr von mir verpasst. Thank you. Yo, what's up guys? I'm here hitting you up with a new video. Today I have a different type of content. I just want to discuss the state of the game of DISLYTE right now. So in the background I'm just doing a temporal tower because I totally forgot that we had a temporal tower reset. So I'm just doing it right now. Where do I even start, or where do I even begin with when it comes to DISLYTE? I feel like DISLYTE is not in a bad state right now, but I also personally don't like where it's going at the moment with an increased amount of PvE content. I think we should start by discussing the new PvE content, Celestial Anomaly. Personally, I mean, the general idea behind it to release new PvE content is not that bad, or was actually a good idea in general, but the execution was poorly made in my eyes. Because I don't know how it is for you guys. Do you actually enjoy Celestial Anomaly, or do you not enjoy it at all? But I personally don't enjoy it. Like for the Widow Messenger, for example, I'm only at floor 54, and at the Chimera I have a SSS score. I didn't really try to push any further because it's just too repetitive in my eyes. Just two waves doing the same thing, and then on the 5th and the 0th floor you encounter the boss, and that's about it. And there's nothing much going for it. I don't know what their intentions were with it, but in my opinion it's just poor execution, and it's not that great. Like, the best thing about Celestial Anomaly is probably getting ripple boxes, but even that is just super obnoxious to do because you have to get all the way up to 150 floor. They could have reduced it down to like 50 floors or so. Just increase the amount of rewards you get from each floor, and put basically all the goodies you get from 150 floors in 50 floors. And I feel like also with the Chimera, it's somehow, it feels like a PvE beta phase. To me, it feels like they're trying to test the waters for what's it called again, for Shade Mother, because Shade Mother will be co-op content with 3 players in it. And then you probably either get mythic grindstones or you get swap stones, gemstones. Gemstones were a thing, or are a thing in Summoner's War if you played that game, where you can basically choose one of your substats and replace it with a different type of substat to get potentially your perfect relic, right? That would be actually the best thing, that we get swap stones to improve on our relics even further. But yeah, Celestial Anomaly overall is just whatever to me. It doesn't really provide anything. Yes, you get some goodies, and then you have the leaderboards where you get some goodies in the frame again. I feel like frames in general were a great addition to the game, because then you were like, okay, this frame looks really good, so I really want to grind for it. But to be honest, it's at some point it's getting exhausting. Like, you're only grinding for frames, and then also the frames are time limited anyway, so you don't have them permanently, so you have to do it all the time to get that frame back. For some it's good, but for some it's not that great. Like, every time you only get time limited ones, and I think it should be, they should add permanent frames to the game as well, so you don't have to grind that much or that often to always get that one thing back. But that's maybe just me in a sense. Also, what I'm missing right now in the game is Esper balance changes. That's one thing. Plus, okay, we already saw the leaks, and it's not really leak, it's already official, right? That with patch 3.26 we get balance changes, so we get buffs for certain Espers, which is great, especially Tavor gets a buff. But we will see that there were also leaks on their like buffed kits. If that's what they are going for, I don't know if the buffs are actually that good, to be honest. but we will have to wait and see. I don't know even what unit I thought was like a good buff, but that's besides the point nonetheless. But also I feel like what is really missing in this game is the PvP content. I feel like right now it feels like they abandoned PvP to a certain degree. Like there's not really much going on. We have Point War, which is kinda dead in my eyes, because you can just quick battle. I mean, it really doesn't matter what team you use at the end of the day. People were complaining about Windpin, but at the end of the day, it's just another type of team you can use for PvP at the end of the day, because you can just quick battle and either you win or you lose. It's really that. And also in Point War, for example, there's a defense protection. So that means once you get hit more than 10 times, or you get hit 10 times in PvP, doesn't matter if you win or lose your defense, everything after that will not show up in your defense log anymore, and you will not lose any points. You won't lose any further points. And so there's basically a lock. So if you're rank 1 and have like 15,000 points or something, you can just put in a Q in your defense, and the maximum amount of points you will lose in a day might be 40 points, because you can't lose more than that. And then also we have Holo Battle. Holo Battle also feels very unrewarding right now, because you literally don't get anything from Holo Battle. Like literally nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's just leaderboards for the clubs, but it's whatever. Right now I don't take Holo Battle too seriously. If you watched my last video, in case you didn't watch the last video, where I showed you Team Oni-chan, watch that one. And that was actually quite funny. So I just fuck around with Holo Battle right now, trying different team comps till Lilith might change Holo Battle in a better way and add rewards back to it. And then we have RTA and we have Knockout. So let's talk about Knockout first. Knockout was, in my opinion, a great addition that gave a little bit more competition to the game. But it's also like you have to wait 2 weeks before it starts, and then it's only going on for 1 week. So you have really to, and then you have to do smart decisions and so. I feel like Knockout was a great addition, and I feel like stuff like that is missing in the game right now. For example, RTA is one of the biggest PvP content in the game. It's actually also a lot of fun if done right. That game mode didn't come back since, like, I don't know which patch it was or which month. I think the last time we had Holo Battle RTA was probably January or February. That's like 3 or 4 months now. We didn't get another RTA season yet. That one is really missing right now, and I know that a lot of people actually want RTA to come back improved as well, so that we maybe get a pre-ban phase, or even that there's an 1 Esper rule, so once a unit is picked, the other one is locked out of the same unit, stuff like that, so you can improve on your strategies even further, so it's not as brain dead to a certain degree. At higher level it gets more difficult and you have to think about it a little bit more, but at the end of the day you have to make the right choices, and you have to make the right counter picks. That would improve as well if they would finally make RTA a permanent mode. And I also feel like RTA, in my opinion, should be a mode. So there's 2 things they should do, in my opinion, is first of all make it permanent, and there are 2 things they should add. Is one is a spectator room. That's the one thing, so we can watch matches from other players, or can just create our own rooms where we can do tournaments and stuff like that. That would be actually fire, because that would, I feel like this would increase the viewership or the general how do you say that, popularity of the game. That would help a lot. And also what they should do is like, there's always one season off for RTA, and then one RTA season should last for 30 days. It shouldn't last for a week, it shouldn't last for 45 days, it shouldn't last for 2 weeks, it should last for 30 days. Because at the end of the day, people are limited with the time, and they can choose whenever they want to do RTA if they want to do so, right? And it gives a little bit more leeway, I would say, to do your attacks or when you want to choose, right? Because if you like the last RTA season, for example, only lasted for 8 days, and 8 days is like too short. Like, it's literally too short. I mean, if you for example, it's like if you're an RTA player, for example, or you like or you enjoy doing RTA, right? You are very pressured to compete to get a higher ranking if you want to reach master for the skin, or if you even want to push even further to go for legend, just because there's a lot of people competing in these ranks, and because of the short amount of time, you don't have the right skill group in each bracket. And also, you might be you're on a vacation, you don't have time, and then like in a day or so you have to grind like super hard, or in a couple of days you have to grind super hard. So having a short amount of time for RTA is not beneficial. So 30 days should be the way to go for a season, and then we have 30 days off and then 30 days on season. That's my personal opinion on that one. They can also improve on how the ranking works after reaching the legend rank, making a point system and not that weird like you win a fight, you get 1 cup, you lose a fight, you lose 1 cup. That's kind of stupid in my opinion. But that's for that. And also they should, when they do like a 30 days RTA season, what they should also do is limit the attacks to 30 per day. 20 to 30 per day attacks you can do, not just grind till you're bored or something like that. Just limit it to 30 wins per day, and that's it. And then you have to wait for the next day, because then you also have to manage it a little bit. I think that's also a good addition, and not just you can play, because it would also balance the brackets as well. Because if you have unlimited fights, you can just play, and then you find yourself in a skill group which you might not fit, or the other way around, or you find players which should be in a higher skill group or in a lower skill group. And by just limiting it to 30 battles per day, there's a balance to where the players actually belong. But that's just my opinion for the RTA, and they can just do so much with this game. Also, which I forgot to mention about the Celestial Anomaly as well. I'm jumping around here, but it's just me talking about the state of the game. So MaTeIRiA, for example, is not a unit personally I like, or I don't see a reason to pull for him, because the only thing he really does is another Fafnir unit, and he's made for the Celestial Anomaly, basically, and that's about it, right? And it's also a little bit scummy that they made MaTeIRiA the Time to Shine unit for the Celestial Anomaly when it comes to the Imprisoner stuff, right? Which I think Dead Free to Play and Kovin already discussed. That should be changed, in my opinion. They should add more units to make it more balanced, or they could even add a trial version of the new units which get a bonus for specific content as well. That should be that would be a great addition. And also, what I don't like is this new gacha system within a gacha with the Yamato. Like, it's fine to have a gacha in a gacha with Yamato if you cannot buy the currency with real money to get like more marks, to pull your copy earlier, or to get more copies in general. But they actually made it so that you can buy it, so you can push for an R6 Yamato, for example, which, like, free to play. I didn't buy any packs, by the way. I don't see a reason to do so. And they just made it so that you buy stuff to get the Yamato. But let's be honest, Yamato just sucks ass. He's so bad. Like, it doesn't matter if he's R0 or he's R6, you will just not use him. He's just not good at all. Like, the best thing about Yamato is his profile picture when you obtain him, and that's it. That's literally it with Yamato. He doesn't offer anything else besides that. And yeah, I feel like they really need to figure out what they can do with this game and what they cannot do with this game. They could also improve like a little bit on the pity system, in my opinion. I mean, with the shimmer stuff, it's fine that they added that 50% up and stuff like that. That's completely fine to me. Also helps players to choose what kind of shimmer unit they want to obtain, right? To increase chances. Basically the old SSM system. But I feel like also with the gold record pool, they could just, because this game is getting more focused on getting resonances with the reso system, right? Instead of just having the Esper. Also, they made a good change there, because like everything up to Ethan was basically, their business model was, if you want to have that Esper, or if you want to make that Esper even useful, you have to get it to R2. And before that, the Esper is kind of useless, right? And now they changed it back to the old system, where they make the Esper in a way that the Esper is useful at R0. And if you get it to R2, 4, or 6, you get nice bonuses. But it's not required to actually use the unit at all. And I feel like a lot of people have the wrong idea about the reso system, because people are like, yo, I'm saving my wish stones now because I'm waiting for that one Esper I really need to R2 or something like that. That won't happen anymore, because as long as DISLYTE and Lilith does enough money, because they changed the whole system with the JP server and stuff like that, to make it easier for the Koreans, to make it easier for them to get the units are useful, because they would complain like, oh, I don't even, like, I'm new to the game, I'm playing this game for 4 weeks, how am I supposed to even save up 300 wish stones to make that Esper even useful? So that's why they removed that system. So you have to get away from the thinking, because right now you're triggered in a way, okay, I need to wait for that R2 unit to arrive. No, it's not that way. You're just like, I don't know the word, like you're branded like that. Now you're the psychology bandit. You think that if you now see a unit which R2 is not good, you don't think it's worth it. But what they actually did with Ethan and before that was, they just removed a key effect or skill from their kit and locked it behind R2. So you thought like, oh, I need R2 to make that Esper even useful. But now what they did is that key feature, which was locked behind R2, they put it back into R0, and now you get different effects for 2, 4, and 6, which benefit the Esper, makes them better, but it's not a requirement to have, right? So that's a thing you have to keep in mind. So moving forward, the Espers will be R0 units, which is good in my opinion. But since we're also focused on resonances in this game as well, getting more stats, stuff like that, they should also, in my opinion, reduce the pity for the gold record pool from 100 down to 80. Because having an Esper, it really depends also, by the way, on the Esper though. Having just an Esper at R0 might not cut it all the time. You want to have copies for different Espers as well. Best case like a CJ, an Ethan, an R2 Ambler, R2 Yunshuan, stuff like that. So just help out the community by reducing the pity a little bit, to just help them pulling legendaries more often so they get their resonance copies. I think wish pool and stuff is fine. I think they could just add more units to the wish pool as well, for players to choose, like if they might not have any of them or something like that. And also with the reso pool, they could make some adjustment, but I feel like it's fine how it is. They could also just reduce the cost of the wish stones you need to pull a Esper from, like they could also reduce it like from 100 wish stones to 80 wish stones, or that like if you pull a copy of a Shimmer Epic Esper or Shimmer Legendary Esper, which you already have, you get instead of 20 you get 40, like double the amount, because they are harder to pull, right? And just making it so that when you wish an Esper or a unit comes out, or even with the reso pool, that the wishstone cost is not 100 anymore but 80. Make it a little bit cheaper for the people, and as well, or make it at least for the rate up unit for the featured new Esper in the game. Like during this patch, during those 3 weeks, you have like a 20% off, and you get that Esper with 80 wishstones. That would help a lot. And yeah, I don't know if I actually want to add anything. I'm also rambling already for like 20 minutes. There's, I think, not much more I want to add here, to be honest. It's just me talking a little bit, just my general thoughts on this game. You can share your thoughts on your comments. Do you share my opinions? What do you also feel like would be a great addition? Also, what just a last thing here, what would be also good quality of life feature is adding DAGs to PvP, like Point War, where you can just click a button and then you have a menu of like 5 presets. You can make 5 different teams, and you can just click on the team, and then you immediately have the team, and you don't have to change the whole thing. So they could also potentially improve with the UI as well. And in that sense, that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.